Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. We're about to go on an absolutely incredible journey together today. To start things off, I want to take us way back in time. The year is 1947, and we're in Hawaii. Now, back then, Hawaii was basically just a simple, undeveloped island state where folks lived pretty ordinary, quiet lives. And right there, a young boy named Robert Toru Kiyosaki was born into a standard middle-class family. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever found yourself looking around wondering why incredibly smart, highly educated, hardworking people still end up stressing over bills at the end of every single month? I mean, it doesn't really make sense, right? Well, Robert wondered the exact same thing. His biological dad was brilliant. He had a PhD, a super secure, respected government job, the whole 9 yards. Yet Robert noticed this constant, stressful theme in his house. His dad was always panicking about money, basically just holding his breath until the next paycheck came in. To figure out exactly why that happens, we're going to walk through this step-by-step visual guide, the 6 steps to escaping the middle-class trap. We'll start with seeking true financial freedom, move through escaping the rat race, understanding real assets versus liabilities, learning before you earn, mastering true financial literacy, and finally, the reward of early retirement. Let's get into it. Step 1. Seeking true financial freedom. Now, what's really interesting about this setup is how it completely blew young Robert's mind. He was just so confused by the constant financial tension at home. Why wasn't his dad's PhD translating into peace of mind? Look at these two completely different role models. On one side, you've got Robert's biological father, the poor dad, highly educated, secure government job, but totally weighed down by financial stress. On the flip side, there's his best friend Mike's dad, the rich dad. This guy wasn't highly educated at all, but he was out there hustling, building a business, and he actually had true financial freedom. It hit the boys like a ton of bricks. Traditional education does not automatically equal financial success. Step 2. Escaping the rat race. So Robert and Mike went to the rich dad and basically begged him to teach them how to actually make money. And his method? Well, it wasn't exactly a classroom lecture. He put them straight to work. He made these young kids do mind-numbingly boring work, dusting and stocking shelves, for just 10 cents an hour. 10 cents. Robert was furious. He felt totally taken advantage of. But when he finally marched in to complain, the rich dad just smiled. He had set them up on purpose. He wanted them to feel the exact frustration that comes from trading your time for pennies, working for someone else on their terms. This is when the rich dad introduced them to a concept that is absolutely crucial. He called it the rat race. Think of it as this continuous cycle of working for others, getting a paycheck, spending it, and starting all over again. It's literally like a mouse running on a treadmill. You're exhausted, you're sweating, but you are not moving forward. So let me ask you, do you ever feel like that mouse? Working endlessly, praying for a financial breakthrough, but somehow always ending up right back where you started? Here's exactly how the middle class gets completely trapped in this loop. Step 1, you get your salary. Yay, payday. Step 2, you immediately turn around and pay your bills and living expenses. Step 3, you run out of money. And step 4, you just sit around, totally anxious, waiting for the next salary to hit your bank account. And you know what the cruelest joke of the rat race is? When people finally get a raise, they usually just upgrade their lifestyle and increase their expenses to match it. So the wheel just spins faster, but they're still trapped. Step 3, real assets versus liabilities. To break out of that exhausting cycle, the rich dad taught Robert a massive lesson. The key to wealth isn't just about making more money. It's about fundamentally understanding what you're buying with that money. So let me challenge you directly here. Is your car an asset? Young Robert definitely thought his family's car was a massive asset. I mean, it's a huge purchase, right? But the rich dad quickly burst his bubble, completely shifting Robert's entire worldview on wealth. And this brilliantly illustrates the real difference. A liability car costs you money. You're paying for petrol, maintenance, and for what? It just sits parked in a garage most of the time, literally draining money out of your pocket. An asset car, on the other hand, is one that you might rent out to other people. It generates regular passive income without you lifting a finger every day. It puts money into your pocket. The secret here is that an asset isn't defined by what the item is. It's defined by what it does to your cash flow. Which brings us to this absolutely legendary quote. This was arguably the single biggest turning point in Robert's entire life. The rich buy assets, the poor buy nothing, and the middle class buy liabilities. Let that sink in. The middle class goes out and buys expensive cars, massive TVs, and oversized homes, genuinely believing they're buying assets. But in reality, they're just buying massive liabilities that chain them right back to that treadmill.
Step 4. Learning before you earn.
As Robert grew up, he actually served as a pilot in the Vietnam War. When he got back in 1973, he totally rejected his biological dad's advice to play it safe with a PhD and get a steady job. Instead, he chose the risky path of business. But it wasn't an overnight success story. Actually, scratch that. It was a disaster at first. He started a nylon wallet business, and it failed so spectacularly that he fell into a really deep depression. When he finally went back to his rich dad for help, his mentor reminded him of something from school. Robert used to excel at math and science simply because he took the time to deeply study them. The lesson? You have to specialize. You need to read books, talk to industry experts, and start small. Deep learning absolutely must come before profits.
Taking that to heart, Robert completely pivoted. He decided to specialize in real estate, poring over the subject until he mastered it. After doing his homework and consulting experts, he made his move and started small. The result? He made a whopping 40% profit on his very first small real estate deal. That specialized knowledge literally transformed into tangible, real-world wealth. Step 5. Mastering true financial literacy.
Let's see how this builds into an even bigger realization. Robert quickly noticed that even though his real estate was making money, the government was taking a huge bite out of it through taxes. Enter the employee tax trap. Step 1, you earn a salary. Step 2, the government legally swoops in and takes your tax right off the top, before you even see it. Step 3, you're left trying to survive on whatever small amount is left over. As a regular employee, you are legally forced to pay taxes before you can even touch your own hard-earned money. It's a really tough spot to be in. Now contrast that with the business wealth sequence. It is completely flipped. Step 1, earn income. Step 2, spend that income on legal business expenses to operate and grow your enterprise. Step 3, pay tax only on the profit that's left over. Business owners legally structure their finances to spend first and get taxed second. And as Rich Dad explained, this isn't some shady cheating tactic, this is true financial literacy. It's the massive advantage you get when you actually know how the rules of money work for the wealthy. Step 6, the reward of early retirement. When you actually apply these philosophies, when you finally step off the treadmill, start acquiring true assets, and master financial literacy, the results compound in ways that are just unbelievable. By 1994, Robert and his wife Kim made the ultimate decision to retire. Their passive real estate and investments were bringing in a steady, reliable stream of income that far exceeded their living expenses. Meanwhile, the stark contrast of his childhood was still playing out. His highly educated biological dad was still toiling away at that government job well into his old age. Here's what's truly mind-blowing about this. Robert was only 47 years old when he retired. 47. Think about that for a second. In an era where literally everyone was expected to grind away until they were 60 or 70, Robert bought his absolute freedom decades early. How? Simply by building up enough assets to completely replace the need for his own physical labor. 3 years into his early retirement, in 1997, Robert decided to pour this entire crazy life journey into a self-published book. Now, initially, it was rejected by basically every major publisher out there. But when it finally hit, it exploded globally. We're talking over 32 million copies sold, translated into over 40 different languages. You definitely know it. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. To put some real numerical stakes on just how incredibly valuable this knowledge is, even if we assume a fairly modest royalty rate, this specific financial philosophy generated an estimated 810 crore rupees for him. It literally earned him the title of the Godfather of Finance. By teaching the rest of the world how to build assets, he ended up creating his ultimate, lifelong asset. So I want to leave you with this final, really powerful question to reflect on as we wrap up. Are you building assets today, or are you still just running on that treadmill? I really hope this explainer has sparked some curiosity and given you a fresh, actionable perspective on what true wealth actually looks like. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and hey, keep building those assets.